Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do, and that is talk about fake football. And me and Crabman don't even talk about the real stuff. Well, I'll take that back. Me and you do talk about the real stuff because we like to gamble and shit. So we do talk about the real stuff. But tonight it's fake football, startup ADPs, Craftman in the building as always. Craftman, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing, man. You were talking about the real stuff. We do have that one episode I'm ready for, getting closer to the season, where we pick our division winners and stuff like that, talking about actual teams and what we think they're going to be like this year. It kind of coincides with fantasy a little bit, but tonight we're only talking about the fake stuff. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, shit, our audience has grown a little bit over the offseason. So for those who don't know, like, our big thing is we do talk fantasy, but like one of our big things is gambling. So we do mix a little real football into the mix as well as the fantasy. So when football season comes along, if you like prize picks and you like to, bet on these game lines and stuff like that, come to me and Craftman Pac Fan over here, because we was hot as fuck last year. I'm just wondering if we're gonna be able to repeat that shit for another year, because I tell, when I was talking to old poor man P. Miller, it's been a while since he's been on the podcast, but weeks 1 through 10 on game lines, that might have been the hottest I've ever been gambling, period. So yeah, join us for that gambling, man. I know everybody likes prize picks and underdogs and stuff like that. Try to make a little quick buck, but tonight, fake stuff, we're gonna talk about some ADPs that we just cannot stand. I just fucking hate them. And it's funny because it was a little bit harder for me to find some that I hate more than the ones that I like, because I kind of feel like ADP, when I was looking at ADP, which means average draft position for those who do not know.
You got it. That's it.
I kind of agreed with a lot of the ADPs out there. I would see this player go here, and I'm like, I'm with
Not
that.
bad.
I kind of like that. So yeah. So good job, everybody out there doing startup drafts and shit like that. But what you think, Craft Man?
It was hard finding the ones I didn't like. Like I wanted to go back to my rankings and just be like, I got this guy here and this guy, way down here. But there wasn't a whole lot that was just like totally out of whack. And it was mostly, a couple positions, like quarterback, tight end. That's where I kind of honed in a little bit, because we hate tight ends. I'm a little bit against drafting quarterbacks too early in dynasty. Like I like getting the big guys, like the big names, Burrow, Lamar. But when it gets past that tier, I just don't see that big a difference between, Stroud and then you go down. Well, I like drafting Stroud. He's a good. He was a bad example, but like that second tier quarterbacks and then like third tier, they kind of seem the same to me. And I'm not big on taking like crazy shots on rookie quarterbacks in startup drafts. So sometimes I miss the next big thing, but they always get pushed up too high. So that's kind of where I'm at finding these ADPs that I didn't like. I mean, we all know the players we don't like.
Right. No, I agree. I feel like when me and Craftman talk about guys, maybe we should just say this. I feel like me and Craftman will talk about guys we don't like and guys we do like. I think also what you got to take into consideration is at what cost. Like, there might be some players that me and Craftman cannot stand, but at a certain price, I could stand that shit. You know what I'm saying? There's some players out there I'll take. So
Jalen Waddle, last episode.
Yeah, like that. Exactly. Like Jalen Waddle. If you check out that last episode, agreed. Like, he's a perfect example. I cannot stand him. I hate putting him in my lineup. But it's just one of those. That's a great example. There was something else I was going to say, but now I can't. But when I do it, we do tight end premium, super flex, which is pretty much 2 quarterbacks, and PPR, those kind of standards. So when I was looking at ADP, that's what I was looking at. Before we go any further, don't be a motherfucking hoe share the show. Craftman said it a few episodes back. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, man. Go ahead and subscribe to us, man. Me and Craftman like to bust out that content, and I feel like we put as much Dynasty content out there as anybody out there in the game for guys who work full-time jobs and be working like dogs all the time. So, and you know, when football season comes around, we're, like we said earlier, weekly episodes of gambling and whatnot, and some Dynasty talk too. So, you know, don't be a hoe and share the show, man. So we be doing our thing. Craftman been doing our thing. Swizzy ain't been on in a while. I want us to shout out Swizzy over there. He's been busy as heck.
Yeah.
He's moving and stuff. You know, he's part of the OG3 that be on here all the time, and Chris will probably be on all the time during football season. So shout out to Swizzy and whatever he's got going on. I know he got a lot. I just know Swizzy's busy, but we've had, you know, guys like Indy Bubble Blower, the Kill was on, David Thomas, Big Dunk. Got a whole team. When redraft comes along, we're gonna get Cousin In and Big Brad on here. So just tune in, man. To hit that subscribe button. But Craftman, go ahead and hate on a few players. Who do you fucking hate?
I hate a lot of them. I mean, it's a problem. I've been playing fantasy for like going on 12, 13 years now. So you get burned by a lot of guys. So you get a lot of hate. That's why sometimes when people play for the first time, they win the championship in their first year because they have no idea, like, if that player has screwed you in the past. But my number one right now, ADP wise, Drake May. Why do people keep got to do this to us? Like, I like Drake May, but you're gonna sit there and put him at QB9 in startups going in the second round. He did okay last year. He did fine. He was a QB14 in the games that he played, which was I think he played about 12, 13 games. Sat for the first 3 or 4, but you know, I just don't. He can run the ball, but why in the world would he go ahead of Bo Nix? Bo Nix can run the ball just as well as Drake May. I just don't. I don't see the weapons that can take him to the next level. I could see him being ranked that high if they had just this buku of guys to throw the ball to. But you're counting on guys like Jalen Polk and shit. Who are their receivers over there, Matt?
Javon Baker.
Keyshawn Butte.
Diggs is over there.
I don't even count Diggs.
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, Kyle Williams, the rookie.
Got a little hype, so we'll see what Kyle Williams. I ain't gonna roast on him a little bit yet, but yeah, man, don't even know if you want to count Stephon, do you? Motherfuckers snorting coke on a boat and shit like that. So yeah,
he might not even be there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I don't really know what to think about Diggs right now. Of course, I really wasn't high on Diggs. I ain't the highest on Diggs. He was going off last year with Stroud, but I thought there's a big difference between Stroud and Drake May. Yeah, crap, man. Look, man, I want to say something. You're talking about Drake May going to the second round. I need to start bookmarking who be saying this shit on Twitter, because I saw a Dynasty startup calling their shot Drake May 101. But tell me that's crazy, bro. That's a crazy ass shit.
Dude, that's as crazy as it gets. I get planting your flag, but you still don't have to. You ain't got to go that far to call him QB1. I mean, you have to have reasoning behind that. And there's just no – he's not prolific as a runner. He's not no Jaden Daniels. Like, sometimes you can overcome the lack of weapons you got if you're that kind of an athlete. But he's like Justin Herbert out there. That's how I feel. He's like a knockoff Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert's with a good team. He's got decent weapons around him. He's got a good head coach. Drake May, Mike Vrabel over there, he might be okay, but – what you're hoping for is that he becomes Justin Herbert, who's going as the QB7 right now, only a couple spots ahead of Drake May. So why would you even do that? I mean, according to my rankings, I got Drake May as the QB20. That's kind of – it might be a little disrespectful. Yeah. But if he's the QB20, that puts him in the 6th round in startup drafts. He's going in the 2nd. So I would venture to say that there's no way in hell that Drake May will be on any of my teams unless it's redraft and I'm taking a shot later.
Couldn't agree with you more right there. He will not be on any of my teams. None. And and I like Drake May. And Swizzy will go on here
Yeah,
and shit on him like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna be like Swizzy, but I still ain't gonna take him at what some of these people are taking him at. But you're right, like Bo Nix. I'm taking Bo Nix over Drake May. I'm just being honest. I think maybe Drake May,
sure.
talent wise, may be better. But it's just like I've seen Bo Nix do some stuff that I'm just not sure if Drake May with the Patriots. I just don't even have no confidence, period, in the Patriots to bring weapons over there, except for like some running backs. Like I know you're high on Henderson. Heck, I like Henderson too, but look at that wide receiver core over there. That core ain't shit. And so I mean, that's about as podunk as it gets out there. So I mean, I don't know. I'm
It
with you, Kraft,
is
man. I feel like Drake.
podunk.
I don't want to. It's like I don't want to hate on Drake May, but I do agree that man's going way too high, man. Way too high.
I mean, you're taking them over. I'll just go down. I'll go down the list even later. Like Brock Purdy. Would you take Purdy over him? Purdy's the QB 16 right now. JJ McCarthy, QB 17. Trevor Lawrence, QB 18. I think he should be down there with them guys. Like I think he should be in that
Yeah.
tier. The Jared Goff type tier. Michael Penix, we mentioned him last episode. He should be down there with them guys, not at QB 9. It's crazy.
I agree. I agree, man. I'm gonna bring a name up here, but I just want to specifically say before I bring a couple of these names up, it ain't like I don't like these guys. I think these guys are good. I'm just talking about we're in dynasty startup drafts, so I have a philosophy for what I'm gonna do. As far as like who I'm gonna pick in drafts. Brock Bowers is going in the late first round. We're talking about the 9.1 tight end 1. There is no motherfucking way, dude, that I will ever take a tight end ever in the first round. Who was going at the late first round last year? Sam Laporta. If I took Sam Laporta as my first round pick in a dynasty startup, I'll be sick to my stomach right now. And I still think Sam Laporta is a good player. It's just going to be one of those things. Like maybe he'll have some good years, maybe he'll have some bad years. But I could not take Brock Bowers over some of these quarterbacks, over some of these top wide receivers. We're talking about in the late first. So we're talking about like even Bijan and Gibbs are in play. And this is with me saying Brock Bowers had a great year last year, and I think his situation didn't do nothing but get better. They got Geno Smith. They've added some players in there, got a new coach, got a new running back. The offense will probably be better. So I'm not hating on anything Brock Bowers wise. Everything I'm hating on right now is dynasty startup situation. And there's no way, dude. Man, no way, Kraft, man. Even, look, Trey McBride's going in the second round. He will never be on my team. And I like Trey McBride. He will never be on my team from a startup like that. There will never be a tight end I would ever draft that high. But tell me if I'm crazy, Kraft, man. I mean, I could be. Brock Bowers is good as fuck. There ain't no doubt about it.
This one's a little different. I'll admit that I'm not taking him there. He's not even in consideration when I'm drafting that early. So I like the pick, but him and Laporta are a lot different. Laporta, his rookie season was on the back of touchdowns. Tight ends just have weird. Look at Jake Ferguson. He had a massive touchdown year and then comes back and scores like 2 or 3 touchdowns last year. Like, you don't bet on touchdowns, and you definitely don't draft players early because they had a great year scoring touchdowns. Brock Bowers is a little different. You're in a tight end premium league. You're getting 8 receptions a game from this guy at 1.5. I mean, I don't think it's a terrible pick. So I'm in a little bit of disagreement with you, but I still wouldn't take him. I think the ADP is a little too high, but he probably deserves to be in the mid-second if you had to ask me. No way I'm taking him over Bijan, Gibbs, Genty, CD, Malik Neighbors, guys like this who's just going to be – he would really have to have a Travis Kelce type career from right now, like 7 straight years of just the tight end 1 for you to, for that pick to really pan out. But I will admit, though, Matt, I know you got to go, but I will admit that I've seen a lot of Brock Bowers in championships last year. A lot of Brock Bowers in championships last year.
So it's just one of those things. I could be crazy. It was one of the. It's like said, I'm not hating on Brock Bowers or the situation, because situation matters to me. And that man he overcame one of the shittiest situations possible last year. I feel like, I mean, they don't get no shittier than that. Brock Bowers was a beast.
Nah.
So, but even when we do redraft rankings next year, I might put Trey McBride a little bit ahead of Brock Bowers next year. But that's just because I think Trey McBride, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, I don't want to spend my capital on Bowers, McBride, Laporta. Like, I want to try to slide down there and get a little, maybe Kittle if I could. That might be a little reaching, but that area. I liked Evan Ingram for years. You know what I'm saying? Jake Ferg down there. Like, I kind of like want to take my shot on a little tight end like that. Jonnu Smith. I know he's probably going a little higher now this year, but guys like that, where I think I could probably get some production and fill my team up with quarterbacks and wide receivers with guys who I really want on my team. Man, fuck them tight ends, man. Fuck them all, man. Ain't no way I'm taking one in the first round or the second round. Hey, in the third or the fourth. Fuck it all. I ain't taking none of them, crap, man. So I just don't like the philosophy of taking tight ends. But I know at some point I need to chill out because I mean, if Brock Bowers drops to you at a certain point, you're gonna take Brock Bowers. Like, you're not just gonna pass up on him.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get off of tight ends, and I'm gonna go to a guy named Tyler Warren. He's a tight end, also. I was just playing, but we don't like fucking tight ends over here. This is a guy I can't see it, Matt. I cannot see it going well with the Colts. He's going in the late fourth in startups right now as the fourth tight end off the board, ahead of Kittle, ahead of guys that are going to give you production. Like he might finish just like the tight end 7 this year. What's the tight end 7 going to do for you in fantasy football? I don't care what age he is. You can do what you said and just trade for tight ends, older tight ends, and just get the tight end 6 or 7 every single year. You ain't got to pay a whole lot, but you're going to spend a 4th round pick on Tyler Warren in your startup drafts, a guy that's never played a snap, playing with the worst quarterback in the NFL at throwing the ball. You better hope Daniel Jones is the quarterback, and maybe you can get some production. But it's not like if Daniel Jones comes in there, Josh Downs is a target hog anyway. He got over 100 targets last year. Josh Downs ain't going anywhere. Michael Pittman, he's had years where he gets over 100 targets. So where does Tyler Warren step in and just take over that role to begin with anyway? Yeah. That's the hardest part to see.
Grab man, right here on my list, Tyler Warren. Man, there was no doubt I wasn't going to put Tyler Warren on there. You're right. Tight end 4. Crap, man, the tight end 4, bro. I almost just want to be like, to the audience out there that listens to that, the people that listen to it, I really just want to be like, figure it out yourself. But it's just like, man, dude, this dude's on the Colts. He's a rookie tight end. Like, some of these tight ends take a couple years to break through. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just no way, man. There's no way. Like, I would even take, what's his name? Colson Loveland.
I would
take him over Tyler Warren. And I, rookie tight ends really ain't my thing. I know they've become, it's just like, man, why would I draft this guy? I can get Tyler Kraft or what's his name? Taylor Kraft. What's his name again? Tucker Kraft. I can get motherfucking Tucker Kraft. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys like Tucker Kraft get hate and get pushed down the board, but we're going to take Tyler Warren? Man, we should have said something about this when the kill was on. He said he likes Tyler Warren. Man, ain't no way I like Tyler Warren, Anthony Richardson connection. Like, man, get that shit out of my face, bro. I'm just being real. Him going as the tight end 4 is like totally hilarious to me, man. Like, there ain't no fucking way, bro. There's no fucking way, man. It's like this. Like, I hate, how many times do I come on here and hate on Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce's going to have a way better year than Tyler Warren this year. And I would put a lot of money on that. So
I put a lot of money on that too. Yeah.
So maybe it's the beers talking crap, man. I ain't been drinking on the pod as much as I used to, but it's just like, man, ain't no fucking way. And if people out here, they need some fantasy analysis and some numbers and shit. Like, you ain't getting it, bro. You're not getting no numbers with this shit. Tyler Warren going as the tight end 4. He wouldn't even go number 1 in my rookie drafts, so he certainly ain't going to go 4. Like, think of the guys we're talking about. Like, who's going ahead of him? McBride and Laporta and Bowers. So you're taking Tyler Warren. I will take – if you thought George Kittle only had 1 year left, I would still take George Kittle over Tyler Warren. It's not even debatable. I don't know, man.
His ADP is at 59. If you're talking receivers around that area, you're talking Xavier Worthy, Devontae Smith, Roma Duse. Running back. Let's go to running backs right quick. You're talking Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson. Like,
it's hilarious, Kraft, man. It's hilarious. I was if
Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence.
Man, if you're in, I'm just gonna be real, man. Shout out if you on Twitter and you hearing this episode, if you're in leagues and you're willing to take Tyler Warren at the tight end 4, let's join a league together. I would love to join a league with you because I'll capitalize on that all day because that shit is crazy, man. Like, I know Akil, he's high on him, but Akil got him at the 2-5. You know what I'm saying? In a rookie draft, I feel like that's a little bit different than taking somebody at the tight end 4 in the start of the draft. So it's just like, I wish I would have asked him that question while we was on that last episode, but I don't know, man. You're right, Kraft, man. I'm with you. I wanted to hop on that pile a little bit myself because that's crazy, bro. I mean, when I saw him go that high, heck, we got an episode coming out soon, tight end dynasty rankings, and I did mine, and I saw how high Loveland and Warren were, and I was like, God damn. I mean, there ain't no way I could put them that high. So I don't know,
because there's not a whole lot of good ones.
Right.
There's just not.
I do agree with that. Hey, and who knows, man? I might be sitting here making a fool of myself, Kraft, man. This dude Tyler Warren might go off next year, and if he does, I don't think so neither.
I don't think so.
All right, then, shit. I'm gonna pivot. We'll stay on tight ends because I'm not gonna stay on this name long, Kraft. Yeah, I'm not gonna stay on this name long. I can't because we shitted on it too much. But I saw Kyle Pitts was going as tight end 10, and I almost shit a brick, bro. I was like, there ain't still. I was like, still, man. And Big Dunk comes on here, and he said some good things about Kyle Pitts, and I always said I'm not gonna 100% disagree with Big Dunk, but this year, man, I just can't even, man. I cannot even. I saw Kyle Pitts. I watched a lot of Falcons football. I'm a Falcons fan. This dude is either disinterested in football or he just fucking sucks. And I just starting to get, because I used to say he was hurt, but it's like, you can't be hurt for 2+ years. I mean, come on, man. Are you that hurt? You can't even make a cut? Like, listen, man, he had a great season. But he was with Matt Ryan. I know everybody hates Matt Ryan, but it's like, dude, Matt Ryan could definitely operate an offense. And if you don't even like him in real football, for fantasy football purposes, he was good for Kyle Pitts. I just don't even think Penix will even look that way that much this year, man. This is going to be a Drake London, Bijan, mix in some Mooney type shit. That's what it's going to be. It ain't going to be no Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle, I'm telling you, man, we've seen it, bro. If you use your eye test, man, there's no way that you even think Kyle Pitts is good at football right now unless the dude has really been hurt all this time. The dude sucks.
The thing that cracks me up the most about Kyle Pitts is like the fantasy community and the Falcons fans when Jonnu Smith was getting all the work, and they were like, why is Jonnu Smith getting all the work? And then Jonnu Smith goes to Miami, finishes as a tight end 2 in the fantasy year. And it's like, Jonnu Smith's a lot better than Kyle Pitts. That's why he was getting a lot of work, because he's that much better. I mean, Arthur Smith might be a dumbass sometimes, but he had that one right.
You know what's funny, though, is like I seen Arthur Smith run end rounds to Jonnu Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for touchdowns.
That's just, to me.
for like 50-yard touchdowns.
Dead, man. The fact that the Falcons could take this dude at the number 3 overall is just like mind-boggling to me. Like, and I get it. He had a fine college career, but man, God damn, what a terrible pick that was, man. Just don't get no worse than that, man. So I don't want to
Oh,
shit on
God.
him too much because we don't believe in Kyle Pitts. We can't stand. I just can't stand him at this point. Like I'm to the point where I would avoid him. I'm a Falcons fan. It's like I said. I mean this when I say. I know I've drank a few beers, but I mean this when I say this. The dude is for real. Does not care about football, or he's just really not good. And
Yeah.
that just doesn't know. That's just not good for fake football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. Anyways, crap, man. Go ahead, man. Throw a name out there.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. I said it, I touched on it a little
Yeah.
bit in the last episode, but god dang, wide receiver 12 right now, going in the late second, third round, going ahead of he's right there with Marvin Harrison, Garrett Wilson. I do not believe in Sam Darnold with the Seahawks. I think that Sam Darnold needs an offensive line and a good offensive head coach like he had last year. That's the way he was able to succeed, was play action. Run Aaron Jones. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Jordan Addison. You got Hawkinson. This year, you got Sam Darnold behind. I think they were the number 32 ranked offensive line last year. And you don't have Kevin O'Connell over there calling plays anymore. JSN, I know he's the only guy there, but I watched a lot of Seahawks because I had DK Metcalf in a lot of places last year, and they were doubling the hell out of DK. They were just letting JSN 5 yards, 6 yards, just small little catches over the middle of the field. JSN's a pretty good receiver. He's going to have target volume, but if you're looking for like a long-term dynasty play, I just don't think this is it. Like he's going to be a solid wide receiver too, but to draft him as a wide receiver 1 in dynasty when there's a lot of good running backs and quarterbacks and everything else on the board, like, it just don't make a whole lot of sense at all to me.
Yeah. And listen, man, I know a lot of people out there probably get a lot of dynasty and fantasy football content in their ears and stuff. But if this is like the perfect example of me and Craftman being objective when it comes to fantasy football, because what did we say last year? JSN was the best buy low in dynasty, or you were saying it, and I agree, he was the best buy low, and he had a good year last year. And then what are we looking at now? It's just like, man,
Stock's too high.
Yep, way too high, man. Way too high. So if you bought low on him last year, like Craftman was telling you, I probably wouldn't. It's just when you come up into a startup draft, there ain't no fucking way I'm taking JSN over Marv. I can't do it. I mean, if you check out our last episode with Akil, he went like 1 spot or 2 spots ahead of Marvin Harrison. JSN did. I just can't do that, man. And you're right, Sam Darnold was in a great situation last year with the Vikings last year. And if I was the Vikings, I might would have tried my best to hold on to him if I could. I don't really know about real contracts and price range. So obviously it didn't work out and he's with Seattle. But it's like, what is Seattle going to be this year? They ain't going to be good, I don't think. And I definitely don't think they'll be good for fantasy football purposes unless Kenneth Walker is relevant for us this year. Other than that, it's just like, I don't really want nothing to do with the Seahawks like that. Go ahead, Craftman.
No, I mean, I said my piece on JSN. Like you said, I like the player. Like you said before, we're not hating on the player in general. We're just hating on where they're going in drafts. And this is a guy, I think he is talented. I think he's a very solid. He's a very solid wide receiver too for a team. I look at him in the same lens as like a Devontae. You remember when Devontae Smith, before AJ Brown got there, he was kind of just lollygagging around like he was like the wide receiver 25 or whatever. That's the way I kind of see it. JSN needs an alpha receiver on the outside so that he can get open consistently, and he don't really have that issue. You got Cooper Kupp over there. He's aged out a little bit. So JSN, he's just not that type of receiver. I think it's just gonna, kill number 1 cornerbacks over and over again in an offense.
Yeah, agreed, man. All right, then we'll go ahead and switch it on to another one. Listen, I call this guy, and listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm salty too when I say this because he killed me last year, and I think it was redraft. I think it was Brad too, Big Brad. He'll be hopping on the podcast with us here soon in redraft time. But Jonathan Taylor. Can't fucking stand him, bro. There ain't no way.
Man.
All right. So he's going as the RB9 right now. He's going ahead of like a lot of rookie running backs, I would take. Like, Judkins, all them guys, Henderson, all them guys up there. And I just think he's been the most overrated dynasty asset for the past like 3 years. He had that great year, but he really ain't did nothing until he fucked me up in the playoffs and shit going off, man. Man, it just kills me, man, because that man Brad Alford, he said he would trade me Jonathan Taylor for, I can't even remember, man, maybe Puka or whoever it was. And I was thinking, there ain't no way I'm taking Jonathan Taylor. This is redraft. And then Jonathan Taylor, if I'd have did that, I'd be sitting in a better position today than I. So, anyways, he does burn me. Jonathan Taylor does burn me. But listen, this really is. I'll get off of that rant, but this really is dynasty philosophy related too. Because what did I say? He's not going as high as like some of these guys, but I keep bringing it up. Like CMC, he was going real high in drafts for me last year. Like beginning of the second round, mid-second round, and I was like, man, there's no way in a dynasty startup I want to take Christian McCaffrey. Jonathan Taylor, I just think he's on. I mean, how old is he? What year are we talking about now? And we're talking about the RB 26. So we're talking about the RB9 on a team that I think this team, the Colts, could possibly be the worst team in the NFL next year, because I just don't really see I mean, like Anthony Richardson, like he's gonna start the year for sure. But it's like that if they actually believed in him, they're not bringing Daniel Jones in there. You know what I'm saying? So when Daniel Jones comes, does that really bode well for somebody like Jonathan Taylor? So when I do my dynasty startup, that's just 1 year of uncertainty with two quarterbacks from the jump of what that offense is going to look like. And then I'm expecting Jonathan Taylor to, be on my team for 2-3 years. And it's like, that's not an investment of something that I want to make at that price range. Also, you got to know who you're talking about. Like, I want to stack up on wide receivers for longevity wise. So it's like, I want to take a running back later on if I can. Like Caleb Johnson in the last episode, like at RB20. I don't want to draft the RB9. Like, I want to draft the RB20 who I think can increase its value. So Jonathan Taylor is somebody where it's like, I'd sell high. He's like a perfect sell high. Him and T. Higgins are the best sell highs in Dynasty right now, man. I sell them for anything.
I disagree. I just disagree with the whole damn thing. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be just fine. Colts are going to be bad. That's the one thing I did agree with. They're not going to be the worst. You still got the Browns out there, doing their thing with whatever quarterback they got going.
That's true.
You got a lot of bad teams still. We talk about Seahawks. We talked about they're going to beat the Giants. They're going to be terrible too. But I think Jonathan Taylor still got some good juice left in him. I look at him as one of the top athletic running backs in the league. You got 26 years old. Yeah, give me 3 good years of Jonathan Taylor left. I don't mind his ADP at all. I hate to burst your bubble there, Matt, but
I'm just wondering, like, are you really getting 3 good years out of this guy? Because if you look, he had that great year, and how many years ago? That was like
he had a good year
ago.
last year. He had a good year last year.
Man, he really didn't do jack for 2 years, and then I would say last year he had a solid year, and then really fucked everybody. He killed it. Well, he either won your championships or you pissed off at him like me. So I'll give Jonathan Taylor his credit, but it's like he's more of a redraft play, if anything, to me than a dynasty startup draft guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is also philosophy wise. Like, I can talk shit about Jonathan Taylor all I want, but even in like the dynasty startup, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't really want to draft a running back and then hope I get 3 years out of him. Like, I'd rather just not spend some capital on a running back and then get a cheaper asset if I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely not a guy I'm targeting because I do like a lot of running backs that go after him. Like, you got JT going at ADP 39. You got Josh Jacobs at 50. James Cook at 52. Like, I don't see a whole lot of Kenneth Walker, ADP 62. So both guys, JT, Kenneth Walker, they're both really good when they play. They're both hurt a lot. So I don't see a whole lot of difference between them two guys. And one's going, 2 or 3 rounds earlier. So I guess I agree a little bit with you. I think he's a good player.
How about this, Kraft man? You agree with me philosophy-wise, but not my take player-wise on him.
Well, your philosophy. I'll take running
situation-wise.
backs. I'll take running backs in startup drafts, but yeah, he's really not at the top of my list because he is a little too high for what he's worth.
All right.
I got my guy. I got my guy, Matt.
We could be at peace. Go ahead, Crap Man.
Ted McMillan. Get him out.
Oh, man. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what you was going to say.
Just get him out. I don't want him. I've said it before. Say it again. Bryce Young is not the type of quarterback that Ted McMillan needs. Bryce Young, intermediate passes over and over and over again. Unless you think Ted McMillan's going to eat over the middle of the field, it just ain't going to work out. You're not going to see. This isn't Mahomes over here or Josh Allen with a rocket arm that's going to extend plays, and Ted McMillan's going to be, running go routes down the field and making things happen after the coverage breaks down. Like that's the kind of receiver he is. Bryce Young is like, let me throw to 49-year-old Adam Thielen for 10 yards and be done with it and hand the ball off to Chuba over and over again. This is just not a good fit with the Panthers. I don't think he's that great of a receiver in general. I would have loved for him to go somewhere else, but you got to play the cards that are dealt. And if you want to draft Ted McMillan, you're gonna lose all that money at the casino. Don't play them cards. Just fold. Draft somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you disagreed with me on the last one. I feel like I got to disagree with you on this one. I just think you just feel like mostly you don't like the situation, but I feel like Ted McMillan's a little bit more than just like hit and go routes and stuff like that. I think Bryce Young, you're talking about in the middle of the field and short. Like I think Ted McMillan can do that shit. So we about to find out. If he can't, then he can't, and he's gonna be terrible. I will say this though, his outcomes to me are. It's like top of tier 2, or it could be way down here. So I'll say that. Like, if you take Ted McMillan, he could fuck you up. You know what I mean? And then if the Panthers really don't pan out, they're going to be looking for another quarterback and stuff like that. So it's risky. I just think Ted McMillan's pretty good, and I like Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young really took a step up last year, and and another thing is I'm just pulling for Bryce Young because I like Bryce Young. So
yeah, I think he's gonna.
I don't know,
he's gonna do better.
I just slightly disagree with you. I just think Ted McMillan's kind of one of those freak athletes, but it's like his upside ain't tier 1 for me though. So it's like I don't know. I disagree and agree with you. It's like I don't really see him being a tier 1 type guy, but I mean I don't think many people viewed Amon-Ra as a tier 1 type guy, and I think athletically. McMillan is way more athletic than Amon-Ra, so it's not.
Yeah, Amon-Ra's a lot better player, though. Yeah, Amon-Ra's a lot better player.
Yeah.
I understand the game.
Of course, man.
We're just going to be talking about...
Of course.
But QJ, he got hated on so bad, and we're like, hey, I'd trade a third for QJ. We're going to be doing that same shit with Ted McMillan next year. It's going to be like...
Hell, I'll trade a third for Ted.
I'll trade a third for Ted. Everybody else hates him. I'll trade a third for Ted. We're going to be saying that shit a year from now.
Hey, well, if that does come along, that league that me and you are in FFPC, we will trade a third for Ted.
Hey, I'm leaving myself wide open just to be completely wrong with this one, though. Like, I didn't even give a middle ground.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be a middle ground, to be honest, though. It's going to be like, he's drafted too high, but I think where he's drafted now, he will definitely be drafted later next year. I'll put it at that, a good bit later.
Yeah, that one's tough, man. I'm with you. That one's tough. All right, Crap. I really ain't got too many names left on my list, but I'm going to bring another one up that I know everybody will disagree with, and you might disagree with it too. Saquon Barkley. He's going to 18-8. He's going as the RB4. And I said this. I keep bringing up the same name. CMC, I would not touch him. In a startup draft. Saquon's just getting kind of at that range where it's like I really don't want him. Like the running backs that I'm willing to take at the top of the draft are Gibbs, Bijan, and then maybe Genty. You know what I'm saying? And Gingy's a rookie, so it's like one of those situations where we're like, I don't know, man. But it's like Saquon. It's like it will Saquon be good next year? Hell yeah, he's probably going to be pretty fucking good next year. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like we're talking about in the startup dynasty draft, like there's some good wide receivers, there's some quarterbacks right there that I'm going to take before Saquon Barkley. And you know what? One thing, Saquon Barkley, and I think it's like bad. It's not the best for fantasy football, but it's great for real football. Like, dude is super unselfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't care about getting them records. This dude just wants to win Super Bowls, and I fucking love it and I respect it. But it's like fake football. I just don't know if I want it. Will Saquon be good? He's going to be good. I really feel like he'll be good. But am I taking a running back at his age in the middle of the second round? I just don't think I'm doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Crap. And this ain't hating on Saquon because when redraft come around and if he's at the price, I'll take Saquon. But Dynasty startup. Yeah, 101, 102, 103. I mean, up in there like that. Yeah. If he's there, if he falls to me at the 102, but like, but it's like Dynasty startup wise. Well, put some context on it, people. If we're talking about a startup in Dynasty, I just ain't doing it, man. I ain't doing it. I'm drafting quarterbacks and wide receivers. I ain't really doing tight ends and running backs unless it's a good one, a great one.
I did see a stat on Good for Nothing ESPN the other day where it was showing running backs that rushed for over 2,000 yards in their season after that. And Barry Sanders did it one time. He dropped down about 1,400. It's just hard to repeat what he did last year. And you're talking about this dude touched the ball like 400 times. They cannot do that again. I mean, if they get away with doing it again and they win another Super Bowl and he stays healthy all year, you know, kudos to them. But I don't know. They really don't have anybody else to give the ball to. They got rid of Kenneth Gainwell. They got Will Shipley over there.
Yeah.
It seems like they're gonna. It seems like they're gonna do it again. But I agree with you where I'm not drafting them right there in the early second round. Like you said, McCaffrey was there. You just have such room. Like you have a lot of room for error when you do something like that. Because if you miss it, he gets hurt. Something happens, like the value just plummets off a cliff. Like CMC went as like the RB2 last year, and now look at him. He's probably going to have a great year this year too. So, but he dropped down to like RB12, 13. You know, he's down there too. So the value just don't make a lot of sense when you can get young receivers, young running backs at that spot. Take your chances with veterans later where it don't cost so much. You get McCaffrey. Get McCaffrey in the third or fourth round instead of Barkley in the second. They both got the same upside.
Agreed, man. 1,000%. It's just tough. It's like it's not like we don't like Saquon and we don't like the situation. Like it's perfect. The situation is great and we like Saquon, but it's like mid-second round in the startup draft. Like I just don't really want to. But the thing is like we play with a lot of guys that want to win like right then, right now. If you really feel that way, I probably would go Saquon. So, but yeah, you're right, Kraft, man. 400 touches. I mean, it's just that one's just tough right there, man.
It's gonna be tough for him to repeat
you got any more?
Yeah, I got the biggest name. I got the biggest name of all. He's probably on your list too if you got anybody left. But Patrick Mahomes.
My only name left, Crab, man. Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, man. QB6 off the board, going at ADP 13. So you're talking very end of the first round. He's in a tier of his own if you look at ADPs. You got them top 5 guys, and they end. Jalen Hurts is at ADP 7. So he's not up there with them anymore. He did drop a little bit, but the way this offense runs, it's just not conducive for him to put up massive fantasy numbers unless something changes. And you're giving up a lot to draft Patrick Mahomes right there at 13 when you're talking the best of the best running backs, the youngest running backs, like the best wide receivers are still there. I mean, Brian Thomas, Nico Collins is way down the list compared to him. And I can't see. Puka Nakua's right there. Amon-Ra's right there.
Ain't no
It
way.
just makes there ain't no way when you can draft a quarterback that's going to put up the same numbers as Mahomes is going to put up like 4 or 5 rounds later. Jared Goff, will anybody be surprised? Will you be surprised if he outscores Patrick Mahomes next year?
No, not
And
even a little bit.
it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense to me. Real football
Man,
gets carried over into the fake stuff too much. People care about the real stuff over the fake stuff. It makes no sense.
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna put a little context on this right here. We're in a league at Doo Dynasty, and I'm not sure how much you know about this, Craft Man. That dude Z, Zamil Galani. We just had his brother on the last episode. Hey, stingy as can be, man. Don't get no stingier than that, man. Him and shout out to Will Savage. Some stingy motherfuckers out there. This dude is trying desperately to get rid of Patrick Mahomes. I've seen so many offers of him trying to get rid of Patrick Mahomes, to the point where poor man P. Miller is showing me some offers. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. I said, Phil, go look at Brock Purdy's numbers and go look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers. They're identical last year. They're the same thing. I know Brock Purdy was hurt a little bit. Dude, I'm almost to the point where it's like there's a lot of quarterbacks I'll take over Patrick Mahomes, period. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Like, we're starting to get into that Brock Purdy range. You just brought up Jared Goff. I mean, what about somebody like Dak Prescott? We talked about him last episode, QB 20, 21. Like, we're talking way down the list. Like, we're talking way down the list at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm with you. Like, Patrick Mahomes at QB6. The only argument that I, like, will give you for Patrick Mahomes is, like, this dude's not going nowhere. So you can get him in your starting lineup. And this dude's literally going to be here for 10 more years, man. And you'll never have to worry about quarterback. But you're going to get mediocre production in your fantasy football spot and that QB1 spot. That's not what's going to win you a championship, from what I can tell. You know, some of these quarterbacks are going off, you know what I'm saying? And if you got one of those guys, so it's like you asked the question, would I be surprised if Jared Goff scored more than Patrick Mahomes? No. I would not be. And there's a lot of quarterbacks I wouldn't be. I mean, I'll add a little bit more context, Craft Man. Z was in trade talks with Big Dunk, and it's got Drake May involved. And I said, call me crazy, Big Dunk, but Drake May might have a little more higher upside than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you brought him up this episode, but it's just like Patrick Mahomes' upside, even if he goes off, it's not going to be sustained for multiple years. It's just one of those things where it's like a pocket. We always talk about it all the time. Pocket passer quarterbacks, they have good years and bad years. But Patrick Mahomes has strung together a few mediocre years in a row. So it's like I don't exactly have that much faith in somebody like Patrick Mahomes right now. And this is a guy that was going like 101, 102, 103 for a lot of years. But I think we've seen a good big size example size. What I feel like I'm not saying the word right,
sample size.
Sample size. There we go, my drunk ass. Sample size. We've seen a decent enough sample size without the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce prime offense, where it's like Patrick Mahomes ain't putting up them numbers. That don't mean he ain't good in real football. Man, the best quarterback in football, most likely. He's a beast. But for fake football, I don't want it, Craft Man. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, Jared Goff has outscored him the past 2 years. So this might be 3 years in a row, just to harp on that a little bit. But, yeah, I took the last guy off your list. So we definitely buried some quarterbacks. We buried some tight ends in this episode, a couple receivers. And like you said, it was a little bit harder to find these guys. But when we did, it was like, all right, I'm ready to smash. I'm ready to talk shit. So that was a fun episode. I enjoyed doing it.
I love talking a little shit. It is funny because I feel like me and Crab Man, we don't really hate as much as a lot of people do. Like some people make some big stances on some players and stuff. I feel like me and Crab just take in the information and take in the numbers and then just base our decisions off that kind of stuff. Like, would we take this guy over this guy at this ADP at this price? Like, it's not really a complex maybe that's why me and Crap only got 23 subscribers. We ain't out here making hot takes and shit like that.
Hey, we don't post videos on YouTube where the main screen is like players that we hate and then put Josh Allen on the front and then don't mention Josh Allen in the whole entire episode. Like just to get people to click on it. How do these guys hate Josh Allen? But like, no, we don't do that kind of stuff. We stick. If you look at what we put, we can't stand these startup ADPs. We mention the guys that we can't stand, and that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna put no clickbait out there,
Yeah.
Go in any other direction.
And there's really not that many people we hate. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Crapman will take a player at a specific price. You know what I'm saying? Even if we can't stand him, like Kyle Pitts, you find him at tight end 45, I might slide in on that. Oh man, but shoot, Crapman. That really about sums it up. These are the ADPs that we do not like in your startup drafts. Heck, for those out there, if you're listening to the pod in our first draft as a podcast, our first Dynasty League as a podcast, the Fake Stuff Dynasty. Hey, check out these episodes that me and the Craft Man and the Kill just dropped. I mean, these were some pretty good ones. You ain't got to listen to us because me and Craft Man do always say 100% do what the hell you want to do when you play fantasy football, because you probably have more success doing what you want to do than if you listen to all these podcasts out there and stuff like that. So, Craft Man, anything you want to add, man?
Like you said, you got to break them ADP chains. You got to break away from them ADP chains.
Yes.
Don't let them hold you down forever. Don't sit there and look at ADPs
Amen.
while you're drafting and scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Get the guy you want, even if it's a couple rounds earlier or whatever. At least you can live with it when they do, like when you make the wrong decision and they're dog shit, or the other way. It's even better when they do great and you reach for them.
I agree 100%. I mean, ADPs, like I love to play the ADP game. If I could, not pick him here and then try to get him around later, I love that stuff. I love it, man. But it's just like, man, fuck ADP, man. I really, yeah, man. I could care. No, this year, and this is the very first year where I'm just like 100% like, fuck that shit, man. I don't really care about ADP. I'm just gonna get whoever I want to go get. So yeah, man. I mean, that's like we're really not a podcast of like big advice and stuff like that. Our main advice is do what you want to do, because it's probably the right decision. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, people out there, man. Thank y'all for listening to the podcast. We know we have a good, solid little, I ain't gonna say fan base, but a little community out there or whatever that follows the pod and wants to play fantasy football with us. I mean, come play fantasy football with us. We do a little bit of different things. We do Dynasty. We got one filled up, but next year, if you don't have people that you can play Dynasty with, because a lot of people don't. I mean, me and Crapman been blessed, man. We got friends that love this shit too, so we have Dynasty leagues that are going, and we'll go until we fucking croak. But a lot of people don't have that shit. Yeah. Me and Crabman also play a little best ball where you can do best ball as much as you want, and you don't have to set up lineups. I know a lot of people don't even know what best ball is, but if you play golf and you play a little best ball, just think of it like that. That little best ball. But you don't set up lineups, but be hitting me and Craft up, man. We keep it cheap, and we be trying to like include as many people as we can, but we like to play like $10 a pop, and if you win, you get all the money, type stuff like that. So I'm gonna try my best to do a redraft for everybody this year. Try to get some people in here to play a little redraft with us for the podcast this year. We'll get one of those leagues started. So man, even if you don't listen to an episode, man, come play fantasy football with us. I mean, that's really what it's all about. We love that shit. Crap, man, anything you want to add, man?
Yeah, just adding on what you were saying, like put in the comments in the YouTube section if you want to play best ball. Reach out to us. We'll get a league started up, get everybody together and play. And even in that comment section too, hit that up. I don't even care. Like it could be, you could say we did great. I agree with all your takes, or you could say I hate everything about you and I disagree with everything you said. I mean, we're fine with that too. And hit that like button and, try to come play some fantasy with us, like Matt said.
Agreed, man. So listen, everybody, thank y'all so much for listening to the podcast. So don't be a hoe and share the fucking show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But with that said, we are out.
Peace.